Chickity check.
3097 Seconds Space Boys podcast.
Hey, we're back. We're still here.
Can you believe it?
How many times have we done this?
Like
4,000.
So, despite all the best efforts of those people to keep us down.
Shout out to Sub 2 and all those people. So listen, I want to read this out loud. We didn't read it last time, although we did touch on it. This is from one of our most devoted listeners, our original 5x5. Says, Johnny's okay, but I really want to hear Tommy Skelly. I don't care what he talks about. All right.
Like
listen, I said, official and on record.
Listen, I keep asking the guy. He was supposed to come out.
I got to fight the Arthurs. You got to fight the guests. So,
no.
Moving on.
I bet if you asked him.
He'd Listen.
I'm just saying.
I'm going to say two things right here. Number one, that one day we were out in that dune pit playing, and those assholes were throwing fireworks our way.
Yeah.
That was the day Tommy Skelly became very aware of who I am, because he looked right at me and said it. Number two, he'll know that if you try to put that on me, that I will do the Tyler I don't know and just play I don't know. I don't know what happened. You said you invited. Yeah, I think I invited him, but I don't know. You see? So now I'll play this, and I put that back on your doorstep, sir.
All right.
Right where it belongs.
All right.
All right. So to continue, which is I wanted to mention because I only mentioned the other part last time, said Bigfoot exists on a certain frequency. That is why Sasquatch can be seen then unseen just as quick. They change their frequencies, and only when you can match the same frequency is when you can see one, just as passing through objects. As can be done when you match the frequency of the object you want to move or go through.
Wow.
Okay.
No, that's interesting because it's going to tie into what I want to talk about.
Oh, so it worked out for us.
Yes, it did work out.
Butters, always there supporting the podcast.
I'm telling you. So
shout out to all of our day one listeners and our new, very wonderful listeners. You basement weasels are the best.
This is interesting. It's not political. It's not really religious, but there's a religious quote to start this off with. Okay. Proverbs 18:21.
All right.
Says, let me find it here. I wrote it down, and now my brain's short-circuiting. There's death and life are in the power of the tongue. All right?
Okay.
Death and life are in the power of the tongue. Now, some people initially were thinking in speech, like, what you say, right? The words you say.
Right.
But science is proving that it's not in what you say, but in the frequency in which you say it.
Listen.
So let me back this up. Do you know what hertz frequency you're supposed to tune your instruments?
What?
Currently, it's 440 hertz. Is the frequency at which instruments are tuned at.
Okay.
That changed in 1939 by
what?
the Rockefeller Group. Made a huge push to change the frequency of tuning instruments to 440 hertz. Do you know what it was before it?
What?
Before it was 432 hertz.
Okay.
Right? Do you know why?
Why?
There were military studies done that say music tuned and played in 440 hertz can cause disharmony, panic, and mayhem.
Well, did you know that when you buy FL, it comes default at 440 hertz just for you to record into?
Yeah. So the question is, why did the Rockefeller Group make this big push to change the frequency?
Well, so me and Shaggy have looked it up to make music in those hertz that we always talk about that are supposed to be healing and stuff for fun.
432 hertz.
You have to physically change the program for that. It's wild.
Right. So you and I went to a concert.
Oh gosh.
And we literally felt
sick,
ill.
Yep.
At the end of the concert.
Shout out to No Mas.
Right. So what they're saying is the U.S. military designed this frequency, right? And what they've discovered was that if you tune your instrument to 440 hertz, the F sharp is, it's 741 hertz. Okay?
Right.
And 741 hertz is the destructive frequency. They can cause damage. and harm the human psyche and the body.
I believe it.
So, being at that concert, being exposed to all those weird frequencies,
Oh,
you and
I
I
believe it.
both felt physically ill after the show,
Oh, I felt it during, bro.
which lends
Yeah,
during,
I
which
thought we were
lends
gonna fall.
credence to this. Now, the interesting thing
Well-
is there's a guy named Dr. John Stuart Reed who's done a whole bunch of scientific research on these frequencies, right? And what he's found at certain frequencies, they can take dead blood cells, expose them to the frequency, and it revitalizes those blood cells and brings them back to life.
Listen, man, you and I, both in the culture and studies of other things in war, have always known about the idea of using music to torture, and not even music, sound.
Yep.
Sound to torture people. And you and I have been to this is one of the few things I can say I would have been able to keep up with Joe Skelly on if I was the same age. We've been to the same amount of concerts per our age kind of group. Like, we've been to an abundance of fucking concerts. I have never been to a show that made me ill like that
Nope.
in my life. They they were using texture files or texture sounds. They
Right.
were not, we were ill before the effing music started. Once the music started, I was fine. I was dancing around. I got videos of it, whatever. But before the music started and they played those sounds and those frequencies, we were dying.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I'm going to stand corrected here. It's called the devil's interval.
What is
This frequency is called the devil's interval. 741 hertz plus
Okay.
528 hertz mixed together could allegedly kill you.
like added together?
Yes. Different frequencies played together at the same time. It's called you could Google it. It's called the devil's interval.
What are the frequencies for the actual thing? What does it say again?
741 hertz
Okay.
mixed with 528 hertz
Yeah, but that's literally what you do when you make rap music.
is called the devil's interval. There's a whole lot of studies out there about this. And this also goes along with the fact that we've been talking about, well, how did they do this in Egypt? How they build these giant pyramids? How do they do this?
Right.
And now they've realized that they can levitate stones with certain frequencies. And you can watch the videos of people levitating stone above a speaker that's playing at a certain frequency. So this Dr. Reed also invented an instrument called a cymoscope. And when frequencies are played through the cymoscope, you can visually see the frequency. And it makes artwork, right? So this same guy went to the giant pyramid in Giza, right?
Okay.
There's a massive stone sarcophagus inside the pyramid, right? They put a speaker inside the pyramid, inside the sarcophagus. They stretched this membrane over the top and covered it in sand. And they started playing this frequency through the speaker.
Right.
And the sand vibrated
Right.
until it created hieroglyphs on top of the membrane.
Get out of here. Who did this test?
Doctor
Something?
Yeah, here, let me pull
Where's
it
he from?
United States. Dr. John Stuart Reed. You can watch the videos. It's the craziest thing in the world, and they show it to you. They filmed it.
Oh.
And it formed hieroglyphs on top of the membrane.
Well, you know what they say, man.
And the Egyptologists started freaking out, and they're like, how the fuck did you just do this? There's no top to the sarcophagus, right?
Right.
But you played the sound coming out of the sarcophagus with this membrane and sand on top, and now it's forming hieroglyphs.
Right. Well, again,
So
you
what
know
they're-
the
what
whole
they-
idea of like sound frequencies, life, and how energy is, you know, is sound just energy pushed faster?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what that is, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. We're going to lean to look into this frequency thing, though.
This dude, I watched
Because
the whole
I-
thing
I-
on it yesterday.
I kinda- I
had my
def-
mind blown.
First of all, we've experienced, like you said, getting sick from frequencies.
So
we
1939, military research said that these frequencies can cause and induce psycho and social stress and disease and dis-ease to the max. So it's interesting because you have certain artists that when their music was played, right?
Mm-hmm.
It would soothe and ease people, right?
Right.
Like old crooners. But then Elvis Presley comes along, right? And allegedly his music caused people to riot and get crazy, right?
Right.
Frequency change. They said that using these frequencies can induce 6% of the population into hysteria.
6%?
Yep.
I believe it.
Now, when you take that 6% and you put them on 24-hour newscasts and 24-hour TV and 24-hour recordings, it induces more of the population into the same.
110%. I believe it. Everything that you intake has an effect on people. So the sounds, we've done it with the healing sounds, stuff like that. We've seen it. We got sick at the show.
Right.
Again, something we've never experienced together. Like
I've been to thousands of shows.
Right. I've never experienced this.
Never.
I had to, first of all, grab my own belt to hold myself up and stop myself from vomiting on the ground in front of us. And I did not drink. I didn't do anything that day. We were just hanging out. And then I was sitting there the whole time wondering if you were going to be able to drag my fat ass off the floor.
Yeah.
Because I was like, dude, we're going down.
That lends credibility.
That was weird.
That lends credibility to what this is saying. Right?
Oh, I believe it, dude. How about those?
But again, this goes back to why did they purposely change the frequency at which instruments are tuned to?
We already know.
Because they wanted that chaos and they wanted that dis-ease and they wanted that. And then you think about all the music that's come out, right? And add in the messages, right? And all this stuff. I mean, Michael Jackson once said, he goes, when you're listening to music, right?
Okay.
And the kid hears that chorus and he keeps singing the chorus to himself over and over and over and over. It's like a mantra, right?
Uh-huh.
Think about like all the religions in the world, they use these mantras that are harmonized to certain frequencies to heal and bring peace to themselves, right?
Well, yep. And what they're actually saying is actually doing damage to you too.
Yep.
As a person.
Yep.
Depending on what it could be.
So,
but I believe it. I believe it. And I think now, we don't want to get political, but it's exactly what everything is. It's either some reason they decided it was safer for you or some reason they decided it was going to line their pockets, whoever they are.
Right.
We're not pointing fingers.
Now, mind you, this is the same group that decided to because before the 30s and the 20s, medicine was still very holistic, right?
Oh, yeah.
Use these herbs and do this and do this. And all of a sudden there's a huge change, right? To the petrochemical medicines, right? Medicines that are mixed with oils or they use oils in them.
Yep.
And who pushed that? Rockefellers. Same people who changed the music, right? And they're also the same people that designed the educational system because they didn't want critical thinkers. What they wanted was workers.
Worker bees. Oh, we're going deep in the circles here.
I just wanted to touch on that. We can
circling
move
the
away from
blood.
that now.
We're circling blood.
No, we'll move away from that. And I'll just make a statement. I heard the other day at work that I don't want to argue with people that use Chime as a bank.
Oh.
And then I will follow that statement up. I don't want to argue with people that look like or sound like or talk like that character Caillou.
Oh.
I'll just leave it at that.
Who said the Chime at the bank one? That was pretty good.
This individual I work with. I don't want to argue with people who use Chime.
What is Chime? It sounds exactly what it sounds like.
Chime is that where you get that card and they're like, oh, you want your direct deposit 5 days early?
Oh.
You know what that sounds like to me?
Yeah, they're going to scam you.
That sounds like that check to cash, right?
The old school.
Yeah, come in, we'll pay you a week early, but they'll take a percentage.
That's
what that sounds
that's
like.
called the snake oil kite. That's where one guy wait, no.
It's called loan sharking.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. I didn't want to say that term, but yes.
Yeah, that's called loan sharking.
The old word is
Right.
That. It's from the old days. Hand me that pen over there, will you, guy? So I like that one. I think that's going to be your first tech shirt right there.
I don't want to argue with people who use Chime, or I don't want to argue with people that look and sound and talk like Caillou.
No, not that one.
I fucking hate Caillou.
Who's Caillou?
You've never seen Caillou before?
What is it?
We're going to have to play you Caillou videos. It was that cartoon fat bald kid that looked like he had leukemia.
Oh. Okay. Wow. Well, man's there. Wow.
We'll play some Caillou videos later so you could be like, fuck that guy.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Anyways, on to what... all messed
yeah,
up.
you're
so
welcome.
you got us circling the dark, dirty secret. See, you turned this, you know what you turned this into? You turned this into the Chan. Let's move on. It's getting scary. No white flags here. We don't want to fight the internet, and we definitely don't want to fight anybody that uses Chime as a bank. So, take me left out of here.
Left out of here? I don't know, man. Like, I mean, have you ever heard of the unkillable soldier?
That a real thing or a movie?
No, it's about a British guy. They called him the unkillable soldier.
Is this from like the Iraq War or before?
No, World War II.
Oh.
World War I and World War II.
Why? How many times?
Oh, and he also fought in the Boer Wars.
Yep. How many times did they shoot him? Because
Like
you know they
37 times.
did. No way.
Yeah.
Without armor? Mm-hmm. How do you survive? Like, he just keeps getting shot, healing, and going back for more?
Yes. He kept requesting to go back. Yeah, so my man's name, let me find his name so I don't screw this up. Lieutenant General Aidan Paul Ghislaine Carte Devoit. You can find him on, just Google search, get on your phone, Google unkillable soldier, and I want you to pull up his Wikipedia page.
All right.
So at 19 years old, my man is in law school, right? This is when the Boer War was going on between England and the Boers, which is, I believe, South Africa.
Okay.
And he volunteered his services he decided he wants to go to war, period. So he volunteered his services to both sides, and the British took him.
Oh,
And he was originally part of the Camel Brigade. That's where you go to war fighting on the back of a camel, like cavalry.
Oh. His parents are Irish, says. He was shot in the face, the head, the stomach, the ankle, the leg, the hip, the ear, was blinded in his left eye, survived 2 plane crashes, tunneled out of a prisoner of war camp, and tore off his own finger when a doctor declined to amputate them. Oh.
Yeah, so that story was in World War I, he took shrapnel, or was it World War II? He took shrapnel to the hand, and he only had 2 fingers left. It took his wristwatch and embedded it in his forearm. And he goes to the doctor, and the doctor refused to take off his fingers, so he ripped off his own fingers, and then they had to amputate the arm.
Perfect.
Mm-hmm. He got shot in the eye, right? Healed up, went back to combat, and then took a ricochet to the same hole in his eye.
What the fuck?
So when he went back to war, he fought to go back to war, and they're like, we can't send a one-eyed guy into combat because it'll make our soldiers look weak, so you got to wear a glass eye. And so he put it in the glass eye, and on the way to the boat to go to war, he took the glass eye out, threw it out the car window, and started wearing an eye patch.
Huh.
In World War II, he ends up getting captured by the Italians, right? He tunnels out. That's why he did all his jailbreaks. With one arm and one eye, the guy tunnels out of the prison, hides out in northern Italy, and gets caught. Towards the end of the war, the Italians are like, fuck, we want out. We don't want to be part of the war anymore. So they use him as an envoy to the British. Like, hey, we want you to go negotiate peace for us, right?
Right.
He's like, and he's in a prisoner of war uniform that he smells like shit, blah, blah, blah. His uniform's all ratty. And they're like, we're going to get you the best suit maker in all of Italy to give you a proper suit to go do this. And he refused and said, if you don't get me a British suit, I'm not going to fucking do it. And they said, why? He goes, because I don't want to look like a gigolo.
Oh. Listen, they asked him what he thought of the First World War, and he wrote, frankly, I enjoyed the war. That was his answer. Oh, it's just a level of something.
The guy was
here.
in 2 plane crashes. He's the first plane crash. His plane gets shot down by a German plane, and they crash in the water in a fjord, right?
Right.
And instead of getting in the digging and going to shore, he made all the guys in the plane hang out by the plane while it was sinking. And every time the German plane would come down and shoot it up, they'd dive underwater to get away from the bullets. And they waited till the plane ran out of bullets, and then they swam to shore.
Right.
Gets back in another plane, and that plane crashes.
That's just bad luck. I mean, I think it's bad luck, but I'm not sure because he survived.
I mean,
so
what else does it say in
is
there
that
about him?
good luck? Oh, it's just got his dates for some stuff. It's got a bunch of awards. And then it's got just the regular where he was at which time.
Yeah. If you want an interesting read, look up The Unkillable Soldier. British guy.
That's ridiculous. I thought you were talking about another guy. There was a guy, I remember.
No, think about it. He fought in the Boer War, right? Mm-hmm. Then in World War I, does the entire war, gets fucked up all the time. He said he was charging German positions with his revolver and grenades. They said he was pulling grenade pins with his teeth and hucking them at the Germans, and then charging them with the pistol, and then reloading the pistol single-handedly and going back into combat, charging the Germans with his pistol. And then gets out and then fights in World War II doing secret missions.
With one eye.
With one eye and one arm after being shot up, and then lives until the 60s and dies in the 60s.
What was he doing then? Probably the devil's lettuce at that point. He's like, I'm done. I'm done. No more of this mess.
Right.
Could you imagine what kind of guy that is walking around?
Well, he'd be like Dan Daly or Smedley Butler.
What if he's walking around today? What do you think he'd be saying?
He'd be talking shit.
Yeah?
Oh, he'd be talking crazy shit. Ooh. He said he enjoyed the First World War.
Yeah, for funsies, I think.
Right.
He does not care.
No. Got shot through the ear, shot in the eye twice, shot in the back of the head, shot in the hip, shot in the groin, shot in the leg, lost an arm. Like, when they talk about unkillable, this guy was unkillable. A rather unique individual. Like, that guy was a beast. That guy was a beast.
We've talked about quite a few of these guys. I think we talked about one last episode. Like that,
right?
We talked about one last episode. It was
his tunnel. The tunnel he dug.
Dan Daly.
The tunnel he dug was 60 meters long.
Well, when you got nothing better to do,
bro, he had one. They talk about
it's not
busier than a one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest. I mean,
yeah. What was he do? Like, what else are you doing if you're in the POW? That's all I'm saying. Digging is kind of your gig.
That is your gig.
At this point, it becomes your fucking gig, right?
Right.
You think he had a fake hand he could take off and use as a shovel?
No, he didn't.
I don't know, bro. This guy seems pretty smart.
He may have. Maybe he fashioned. Maybe he fashioned.
Like we hear these stories, right? And they don't talk about it, but he solved a problem during his time, right? Do you think come on, the dude's just killing people. Did he have an arm blade? Was he like the freaking, I don't know who does that in movies. I'm not even sure, but like
anime character.
Like pirate,
no. You know who did
Assassin's Creed thing? What?
You know who did it? Fucking the Terminator, right? The guy hit.
Yeah. Is he like the Terminator running around? Because I mean, if you're just in war all the time, wouldn't you mount a K-bar to your hand where it used to be?
All right. Think about pirates with their hooks and whatnot, right?
What else are you gonna do?
My man was a beast.
Mount a tomahawk at the end of it.
Yeah, and they said there's a picture of him with Churchill sitting in front of him. There he is with his eye patch and one sleeve folded up, standing behind Churchill.
Wow.
Yeah, he was a fucking beast.
They didn't top him at the forearm. He was just screwed all around.
Yeah. Well, I guess they topped him at the elbow.
Oh, that's stinky. Yeah, that's stinky.
But
not a lot going on there. Listen, man, you hear these weird stories. Remember early in the Iraqi war, there was a British. This is who I thought you were talking about. It was that British guy who got shot like 3 times in the head.
I don't know this story.
Yeah, there was one from Britain, and they were laughing about it because he took 3 different rounds in the helmet, and they sent him home. They were like, "Homie, you keep getting shot in the head, you're done."
Oh, that's like home. Brickhead Stan.
He went back after the first time. They were like, okay. He went back, got hit again, then went back again, got hit again, and the British were like, no, you're done. You're drawing bullets like it's your job. You gotta go. And he's got this helmet that he shows. He's got all the helmets, and each one has a fucking ricochet on it.
Oh Lord!
And you're like,
maybe his tactics were just really bad.
Bad?
Like he kept looking up, kept peeking up.
He forgot the saying. Yeah, he forgot the saying. But at least. At least he lived, I guess.
Right.
All right. Let's take us left out of here. I want to talk about something that Ponyboy brought up the other day.
What's that?
So they've remade a bunch of his classics, he said.
Oh, right. Yeah.
He's super excited about Roadhouse.
Oh, that's right. He was super duper excited about Roadhouse.
He said that he's immediately going to sign up for the first MMA gym he sees, and he's going to shoot right for that purple belt in jiu-jitsu. So, yeah. And he said soon he's going to open his own bar.
Oh, okay.
So that's good.
Is he going to be the bouncer at his own bar?
I don't know. We'll have to ask him.
I mean, because there's, like, if you want to be Dalton,
right,
you
have
can't
to
be the
invited.
owner.
Yeah, but Ponyboy just does what he wants.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the problem.
That's
the problem.
That's a fair statement.
Right, is when he has the money.
Owner and bouncer.
Right. He's like, fuck it, I'm bounce everybody. And I'm the owner. He's the type of guy that wouldn't tell anybody he owns it, though.
That's like Bosley from Hair Club for Men. I'm not just the president. I'm a member.
I'm a member. Oh, yeah. Wait, I was going somewhere with. Oh, okay. Yeah. So, do you think? And this is my question to Ponyboy: is he going to be mad
about
the famous Twisters movie?
Oh, are they coming back out with? Oh, that's right. They are
Twisters. Can you believe that name?
They added an S.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I did see
Twisters.
that. Listen,
I was like,
I know why they call it Twisters. Spoiler alert. Because in the trailer, it's not just one.
It's two.
Right.
How could you make it that much more epic? Instead of one tornado,
Listen, if
we
somebody
added
doesn't,
another.
So if somebody doesn't feed their belt through a pipe and hold themselves to the ground with their belt,
can they really replace Bill Paxton though?
You can't replace Bill Paxton in anything he did. Come on. You can replace Bill Paxton in Aliens?
No. Nope. Tombstone?
Nope.
Dude, he was even in Minority. I almost said Minority Report because we watched that the other day with the kids. He was even in that movie where Tom Cruise is the main guy and Tom Cruise keeps getting killed and keeps repeating history.
Oh, yeah.
And he was still more badass than Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise was like, sir, I don't think I'm supposed to be here with his cuffs on. And Bill Paxton was like, let me take you to the men that are going to help you with this, and walked him into the fucking room with all the infantry guys and left him there and was like, men, check your boy.
Yep. Yeah. That's more badass.
Way harder than Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
I love you, Tom Cruise, but you got to keep the fucking bitches and sliding around in your socks.
No, he's got to. Yeah, never mind.
I won't
say that out loud because we don't need the lawsuits. But
Tom Cruise is a badass.
I won't talk about his ideologies.
Yeah. I don't care about that. He can worship who he wants. He's a badass, but Bill Paxton's got him.
Yep.
By a large number.
So, yeah.
He was an officer and he's, I'm freaking out. I'm an officer. Like, bro, calm down, dog. How did you get to you're making us look bad. And the American military mixed with the British, that British guy was laughing at you kind of right now.
Right.
Because he knew that you might have come up through college. Is what's happening right now.
And by the way, that's not how they do it in the British, at least in the Scottish military.
Oh, what?
In order to become an officer in the Scottish military, you have to be enlisted first.
Oh.
And that's why the Scottish officers have less teeth and more tattoos than the enlisted guys.
Oh, wow.
And that's a fact, Jack.
Again, these are things that I've read in books. That's crazy. So, I don't know. No. The answer to all questions is no. Listen, we have a listener submission here that I want to go over.
Oh, please.
I don't want to go far left, but I'm not going to say who this listener is, but he'll know who he is because he wrote us. This was a bit ago. My man here says he has a stalker.
Oh.
Yeah. Wanted to get our comments about that.
Okay. What's the situation?
He did not say. That's why I'm sitting here like, homie, you have left us with quite a question.
So the individual has a stalker.
That's what he said.
What have they done? Or what haven't they done?
That's all he said.
It's too open-ended.
It is, but is it? He said, I'm dealing with a lot. May have found out I have a stalker.
Oh, my.
Oh, but and exactly. That's what I'm saying. He left it there for us to comment on. But, what do you think about that? How many stalkers do you deal with?
I don't deal with any that I'm aware of.
Really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Are we going to go over this? I mean, there's at least fucking 2 that we see every time we go out. And we've mentioned, maybe we shouldn't, because now I'm scared, now that I'm thinking about how he could just listen to this. But we have mentioned that there is a person, could be male or female, we're never going to say, that has tried multiple times to join your family. This is one of the very unique and odd effing things that I learned in becoming one of your friends. Every time we go somewhere, there are random folks that show up to me.
I put it in the back of my brain. I don't recall.
Dude, you got random people coming up to me asking if I can get them into your family. That doesn't even make sense, my man. That fucking whole sentence doesn't make sense.
That's different. Yeah.
Different is a word I would use to call it. My man over here's got a stalker and he's scared, and I just figured, hey, Joe Skelly might know what to do. So you're saying my man should just put it in the back of his head and just forget about it? Don't worry about it? Akuna Matata, this mother effer?
Hold on. It depends. It depends.
Is she hot? Is that the question?
Oh,
is he hot?
Well, yeah.
Does he have a six pack?
Right.
Does she drive a Benz?
How far has it gone?
Right.
If it hasn't gone far, if you do the Navy SEAL thing, if I don't see it, it doesn't exist, right?
Listen,
if it goes beyond that, then you have to take steps.
I'm not going to lie. With stalkers, that's a good way to go.
You have to take steps. If it goes beyond that, you have to take steps.
Listen, I'm going to give you my approach. Is that your approach, by the way?
Again, not knowing the entire situation.
Right.
That's what I would start with.
All right. This is what I've got.
Be cordial.
That's what I was just going to say. That was it. Just talk to them. Talk to them and see what they want.
Mm-hmm.
Usually you can, and if nothing else, you can divert them.
Right. These are not the droids you're looking for.
Right. You're like, hey, you really want to hang out with me? Listen, I have a plan. I want to hang out with you. You meet me in these coordinates at this specific time next year. But here's the thing. When we get there, we're going to run like a 20K marathon. So you got to train for it. And then if the stalker's really crazy and they train for it, at least you end up with a very in-shape stalker.
I don't think that's what you want.
No, you don't. But they were going to stalk you anyways. At least this way you have a little tiny bit of a hand in it.
But that works if you don't see them every day.
Oh, of course. I mean, it's like you said, it's all
So
situational.
your advice,
it's all situational.
Your advice is to do the thing.
It's just diversion.
So I used to live in this place, right? This homeless guy every single day. I'd go to the corner store, homeless guy every single day, stand in front of the store. Hey, man, you got $1? Hey, man, you got $1? And every day I'd give that dude $1.
Oof. That's a relationship.
Hold on. Then one day I'm like, I'm going up to the corner store. I bet money that guy's going to be out there. I got to fix this somehow. And I walked up and he turned around and saw me. Before he could open his mouth, I looked up and said, hey, man, you got $1? And he gave me one.
Get out of here.
Dead serious. And he never bothered me again. Preemptive strike solved the problem.
That's a good run. I don't 100%, I'm not sure if that's going to work on a stalker because remember here in this story, in your story, the dollar is the prize for this guy.
Right.
The stalker you're the prize for the stalker.
Right.
So but that's why I was saying a little bit of diversion.
Well, if you find out what made you...
All I'm saying is if we send homie off to do a couple of 5K runs or get him mountain climbing or something, he or she is more likely to meet somebody else they will stalk.
What if that makes you more attractive?
Ooh, how?
Listen, you got to find out what makes you attractive to that stalker.
Oh, and then change that?
And just do the opposite.
Ooh, that takes time.
Is it worth it?
I don't know. If she's sending you free gifts, I mean, what's the problem?
Because now they believe they're in a relationship if you accept them.
Again, stalkers are weird in general. So if they're on that side of the fence, does it really matter? It's like you said earlier. Depends on what you get. If you start waking up and she or he is above you, standing while you're sleeping.
Or they're out in front of your house holding up a radio over their head like in the movies.
No, that one's okay.
Like say anything, right?
Don't say that. Now a bunch of these young listeners are going to be like, I can't do the radio proposal because Joe Skelly said I'm a freak.
Nah, look.
I'm just saying.
Look,
we don't want
if you look out your front window and they're
life.
standing there in the rain just staring at your house.
I do that to your house all the time.
Yeah, and I've taken steps.
Well, Tommy Skelly said that I can go over there anytime. He said one time when I was alone with him that you're the type of guy that loves when we just show up randomly.
Oh. Please do not encourage any of the listeners. Yeah, that's not good. So, I mean, listen, the stalker thing, it could be benign.
It's true.
But it also could be very serious.
Listen.
I mean, have there been threats made? Do you feel threatened?
Yeah. Oh, and before we continue...
When you say that I may have a stalker, I'm not discounting what you believe. What I'm saying is you need to verify.
Well, how do you verify that? That's like trying to say you need to verify the fucking stray cat that follows you home every day. You want to know Joe Skelly's solution to that?
My question is...
Because that solution that Joe Skelly has, if a cat follows you home, is not the same that we can use for the stalker.
This is true.
Yeah.
My question is, what made you believe that you might have a stalker?
Right. Was she like...
Or he.
Right.
Because we don't know.
Right. Was he or she like, hey, I like those panties you were wearing today? Because this might be way beyond just mentioning it to a random podcast at that point.
Right.
Have you ever heard those stories about stalkers like living in women's closets and shit?
No, I have not.
Or what about that one story where that dude built a mini hole under the woman's bed and was able to live under her bed?
What?
Yeah, you ever seen that?
No. Now we're getting into some dark shit.
That's not.
But what I'm saying is,
you're right. Left field, Clyde.
Verify that it's a stalker.
Target ID,
right? Preemptive strike.
Strike on a stalker. What the fuck, ladies and gentlemen? This is Bays Boys Podcast. Welcome to the show. We do not give advice here. We talk philosophy and philosophy of use. There is absolutely no legal advice, no marital advice, no love advice, no health advice.
None at all.
Especially mental health.
No.
Coming out of this podcast.
No, so yeah, preemptive strike being suss them out, talk to them, find out what they've like, hey, what's going on? What, don't lead on that that they might be stalking you. Just talk to them, figure out what the deal is, right?
Right.
Get to the bottom of it. And if they lead you to believe that there's something about you that they find attractive and you don't want that attention, change it.
Yeah.
Do something different.
Listen, again, another thing.
Or move.
No, you can't move to avoid your problems anymore. You know that.
Because the internet exists.
Yep, because the minute you put a new Facebook up, right? What about that dude? So what about that one gentleman? I won't say names or what crimes he was doing, but he was doing bad crimes against people in an area, then went to another area and decided he was going to play basketball with the local basketball team and got so famous doing that the cops found him.
Oh.
You're like, homie,
way to lay low.
What the F just happened, bro?
Way to lay low.
My man needed to challenge people on the court so bad he gave up his freedom to go identify. Like, to be like, I'm flex.
That's
homie,
not smart.
You could have bought Madden. Are you fucking stupid?
You could have challenged people.
You could have bought Madden. Home. Right. You could have been bought Madden. You could have bought the Google
you know what the problem with that NBA 2000 and all those games? There was a guy who was like world renowned for it.
Okay.
Like
a
best player.
Okay.
Right. But it turns out the way he got there was he was paying people to throw games.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. He became real famous for it too.
Could you be I would be that guy. I would be the famous guy who was throwing and cheating at video games. I'm fine with that identity.
But
give me the money.
I guess
me and
my
Joe
next
Skelly
question is,
need cars and things to
for
go
the person
find.
who thinks they have a stalker. Are you single?
Yeah, because Joe Skelly looking.
I'm not looking. I'm not looking. But do you think? Are you single? And is that part of it? Right?
Or worse, are you mad and calling him a stalker because you're not single and you are really deep down wanting to play Monopoly with this stalker? Oh.
Or are you attracted to the stalker and they're not attracted to you?
What the fuck? What kind of stalker is this?
I don't know.
I'm just talking dumb.
I'm just talking dumb shit now.
We are way gone. Listen, tell your stalker that you only date people who chase twisters. And if they can't, and this is a rule for everybody, if your significant other can't name 5 Bill Paxton movies, they're not, first of all, they're not.
Fire them.
Yeah, if they can't name 5 and they won't sit down to learn 5, they're not worth it. There.
There you go.
You don't have to know them, but you got to be willing to learn.
But there you go. That's right there from Tyler. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know.
So we have.
I mean, the whole stalker thing is concerning in certain aspects.
Oh my!
But again, without having all the details, I can't give a solid answer.
This is a 3-second cop video involving an acorn and an arrested guy. None of us can ever really know what happened that day. Maybe.
Unless you watch that guy do the combat roll on the ground and just start launching rounds and
into the
whatever,
car. In which case, you might know what happened.
Right.
Maybe. But we weren't there. We do want more. And listen, homie, this is just a recommendation from the guys who have shaken hands with a bunch of people that have said stalkers. If you're liking her booty pictures and telling her she's fine, you have brought her from stalker position to possible date position, and you messed up.
Yeah.
So if you're doing that, I would stop. So we're very clear. Yep. Treat the stalker like an alligator on the other side of the glass. Anything past that, it's no longer a stalker. Yeah. Now he or she, with his glorious abs and beamer, is your hubby.
Oh.
Oops. And with that, ladies and gentlemen.
You're saying don't feed into the stalker.
Oh, 1,000%, dog. I'm saying if I see someone getting whacked on the other side of the road, I don't walk across the road to fucking, check his tennis shoes or nothing. I'm just saying, like, let it be. Because some guys, they fall into this. They're like, oh, she's stalking me. Well, how do you know? Well, I saw her last night. Where? At the hotel. What were you doing there? Well, I had to go over there to tell her not to stalk me. Oh. Right. And did that end up with you guys comparing skin tone below the waist?
Yeah.
Because if it did,
that's your problem.
This is backwards.
Did you step out with somebody?
That's another one because
I didn't even think about it. Did you step out with somebody? And
that's not a stalker.
You all had relations, and now they're upset that you went back.
That's a stage 5 clinger. That's not a stalker. There's a difference. There's a difference. Okay. All these men and women that want to join Joe Skelly's family, those are stalkers.
Yeah.
Dude, what the heck, bro?
I don't know why that keeps happening.
You know what's funny is that people out there are like, I don't know if this is part of the show where they're making it up or they're lying. And I'm not going to tell them right now, but I'm going to let you res on this one because old boy was dead serious.
Yep.
Could you imagine being someone's friend for like a month and you go into public with them and random strangers walk up and they're like, hey, could you give me the passcode for the door? And I'm like, what? The fuck did you just say? Bro, I just came to get a slice of pizza and a freaking ice cream.
That's it.
Right.
That's it.
Right. Listen, one more question and then we're getting out of here.
What's the question?
What would you wear if you decided to meet your stalker? Right? You're a man, so we're going to give your stalker a woman to not make it complicated for you right now with the question, scenario based. You're going to meet the stalker to have dinner with her because you agreed, and she said if you have dinner with her one time.
Nope, that's a trap.
Hold on.
That's a
trap.
You
have dinner one time with her to discuss it, she will leave you alone. What do you wear?
The Michael Jackson Thriller outfit.
Can you source that?
eBay.
In our size?
eBay.
I'm just saying. I'm wondering if they got grown man size.
Yes.
I know they got petite musician size.
Right.
We're going to need something bigger than Eddie Murphy in his 25s. Right. So, okay. So you heard it here first. Bays Boys Podcast. Wear the Michael
Jackson
Jackson outfit.
The red one.
Yeah. Not the black one, because if you wear the black one, Kit might show up.
Yep.
We hope you all are well in this new year. We have a lot coming for you.
Like, subscribe, ring the bell, give us a 5-star rating, do all that good stuff. Tell your mom and her friends to listen to the show. Join our Patreon. Because we're gonna be doing more with Patreon. We've been a little lackluster, but we absolutely
been a little lackluster. We are lackluster. Listen, people, me and Joe Scaly are still trying to learn how to use our email. Whether you believe it or not, contrary to belief, it's not like we've been coding the last 10 years. Mostly we've been playing Dying Light. So we're learning how to do it. And I was just about to say this. I'm glad you brought it up.
And we'd like it when you guys email us.
We do. We have some new upgrades coming through the studio that are hopefully going to allow it to us to communicate with our old asses to our younger base a little bit quicker. We're hoping.
We're hoping.
We have great plans. One thing we don't lack here is
Plans?
scheming.
Scheming.
We're scheming 24/7. Some pinky and brain shit
The
going on.
show is only going to get better from here.
Right. We do actually, for the first time ever, me and Joe Skelly, we're not going to give away all of it, but me and Joe Skelly are going to have the opportunity to distribute some of the grand ideas that we've been dropping the last couple years here. And we're pretty excited.
Yes, we are.
We're very excited.
More than excited.
More than excited. We are
Almost overexcited.
The Put and Dough Federation is growing by the day. And our members are soon to hit the double digits.
Dude, and by the
early
way,
teens.
your listeners submitted videos of you
Talking about the podcast?
wanting to show us your skill set to become members of Putin Dough.
Oh, yeah.
Are absolutely amazing.
Yes. And if you make them anonymous so we can actually show them with the other people, that would be even better.
So if you wear that ninja mask while you're doing your karate expose for us to
1,000%.
see whether or not you're worthy of joining Putin Dough.
And you can send it to the DM.
Yep.
You can send it to Tyler's DM.
Sure.
Which one's mine? The one with the picture, yellow picture.
Yeah, the one with the yellow
picture. Dude, you know what I noticed lately with the algorithm? The algorithm no longer wants me to tag you.
Oh.
I meant to tell you this in the DM, but I was like, I'm going to save it for the real world. I'm going to save it for when we're IRL. Fist bump the IRL.
Yeah,
That was a fist bump one. So now when I go to tag people, it promotes, I type in bays and it gives me everyone but you. And I'm like, that's super weird considering the first 400 posts that I have were only tagged with you. So I'm like, your algorithm now is telling me that I shouldn't be tagging him? That makes no sense.
It
makes no sense, bro. It also happens in the comments when I go to make a comment and then I go to tag you because it's funny. It's now telling me other people. And I was like, wow, that's super weird. Again, only weird to us because in this lonely podcast where we have our 3 viewers.
Listeners.
Damn it, dude. Soon to be viewers. Right. I lost my train of thought. I'm just saying, the algorithm makes no sense. Shout out to our listeners. We have so much that we're trying to bring you. We appreciate all of your support. There is one joke here there is one thing here that we don't joke about, and that is not a joke, and that's your guys' support.
And
we appreciate you.
No
guys.
Animals in the studio that can kill you.
Yeah, those rules are actually true. And no drugs, and no what was the other one?
We have a lot of rules that we got to give to our guests
Yeah.
when they walk in.
The guests, yeah. No animals that can kill us. We violated that rule a couple times.
No pit vipers, none
Joe
of that
Skelly
shit.
violated that rule when he brought an animal that could kill us all over to the studio permanently. So when he brought us the bear, speaking of which, you'll now be seeing we've converted our no, actually I'm not going to say that here. I'm going to save that for you guys for later. Yeah, that's it. Anything else?
I got it.
Be careful with your stalkers. They might be future lovers.
Suss them out. Figure out what's going on.
Be very careful. Do not exchange bodily fluids, though.
No.
Never.
Never.
Ever. No, don't do that.
You'll get a Glenn Close bunny rabbit in a fucking pot on your stove.
Yeah. And then Tom Cruise will show up in a dress.
Oh, that's even worse.
Yeah. And then Steven Seagal might drive a tank through your house.
Kill all your chickens.
Yeah, if you have chickens.
Yeah.
Which you probably don't if you got a stalker.
Well, you might because you have chickens.
Oh. Let's not go down that dark hole.
I mean, there are a lot of people who dig chickens.
Let's seal it up. Oh, I know. There's some pretty cocks running around. Listen. What? I'm not even going to say nothing, but I got a homie that runs a lot of chickens, and they got some really exotic birds. Black ones. Black ones. Okay, 97 seconds. Thanks for listening to the show. Thank you for all your ratings. Thank you for all your support. We love you all. We're still here, contrary to what Sub 2 wants.
We're not going anywhere
We
anytime
can't
soon.
quit mostly because we have no life.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
I'm just kidding. We see old mountain men that tell us we can murder people on the side of mountains.
That's
scary.
a personal problem.
That's scary. It is a personal problem for fucking both of us. It's very personal. He was in the room with us. All right, we're out of here. Bays Boys Podcast.